Hey guys, let's get started with today's strength reformer workout. So I am going to begin warming up with some footwork. It's going to be 2 red springs and 1 blue. If you want to amp it up a little bit, you can add a yellow spring to that or do 2 red and a green. Okay, I'm going to be using a set of 5-pound hand weights as well with this warm up. Those are completely optional, but feel free to grab them if you'd like to. Find your free weights in your hands. You're going to begin with them straight up towards the ceiling. Set your spine in neutral, finding a little bit of that natural space in your lower back. Heel pockets on the bar, that space right above your heel bone where it meets the arch. Begin to send your carriage all the way out. Connect to those front ribs, pulling down your front, already feeling like you're holding a plank here on your back. And we're going to begin to bend and stretch arms and legs. Arms are moving like a push-up or a chest press, and legs are bending parallel hips width distance. Good. We're going to be moving through series involving lunges and planks today. So really thinking about connecting to that entire body through that conscious breath. We're going to be needing that centering and focus as we move through this class today. So just staying connected always to that inhale and exhale, letting that guide you. Feeling this power, a little bit of warm up in those arms and legs. We have 3 and 2 and 1. Turn the palms to face towards one another. Move your legs a little wider than your hips, toes and knees pointed slightly outward. We're going to open the arms for our chest fly, and then exhale, wrap those arms around the chest. Knees are pointing slightly open, and I'm feeling a little bit of that connection to my inner thighs as I stretch these legs. Again, using that breathing. Good, this is just the start, just the warm up. So try to make this really conscious about how you're talking to yourself when you're moving, trying to keep a sense of neutrality towards how the movements should look. Really focus on how it feels. I'm going to be cueing a lot of things to be focusing on. And while we do think about where arms and legs are moving, it's all so that you can feel more. So if any of my additions or suggestions are not working for you, please feel free to take your own versions, ones that give you sensation in your body. 2 more. 1 more. Close up that carriage. We're going to begin to light up those triceps. Weights are going to marry themselves together above your chest, and we're going to unify those legs all in one piece. I'm going to start with my elbows bent. I'm on my heels, inner thighs zipped, and I'm going to stretch my arms and legs and bend. Stretch and bend. So everything is lined up, everything is zipped up. Beginning to find that inner strength coming from hugging those weights together lightly, finding that gentle squeeze in between those inner thighs. We'll take 5 and 4 and 3, 2, and 1. Closing up that carriage. Nicely done. We're going to gently set those weights to our hips. Bring those legs back to hips width distance parallel. We're going to take a couple bridges, press through those feet, gently rise those hips up, lengthening through the fronts of those hips, and then reaching right back down. Good. We are on a heavy spring, so I want you to focus on that feeling of pulling yourself towards that foot bar, lengthening out the front of the body, and lighting up that back line. If you're a little bit taller, it is a-okay to have the carriage slightly open to accommodate those legs. Just want to feel as much as possible that you're keeping that carriage stable. And I'm just lightly pushing those weights into my hips, giving myself a little bit more resistance to push up against. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. We're going to take 3 more just like this. And 2. And 1, holding it up. We're going to pull that carriage home. And we're going to take a little pulse up into those weights for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower those hips all the way down. Nicely done. Okay, go ahead and come off to the side here. Weights will be finding the floor. We're going to be using one of those free weights in a moment. Drop your springs to a red and a yellow. We're going to take a standing outer thigh focused squat. So red and yellow is going to be a nice supportive heavy spring. If you want any lighter, just take off that yellow and just do 1 red only. Here we go. Lower that foot bar. And if you have an additional platform extension, you can slide it in so that you have a little bit more space to stand and balance on your machine. Grab one of your free weights and step all the way up onto your carriage and platform. Now I want you to find the width in between your feet so that when you push open the carriage, it feels like you hit your personal resistance point and your legs are about the width of your hips, maybe a little bit wider. Great, bring that weight to your chest and begin to bend and stretch those legs. We're going into a set of stationary squats, 10 of these. So depending on your body and your springs, you may need to walk your feet a little bit wider in order to more easily push that carriage open and find your resistance point. Or if you feel like you need heavier resistance, heavier spring, walk your feet towards one another so they're right on the inside edge of the carriage and the platform, so that when you push out to this wider parallel stance, it feels like you've hit your edge, personal edge here. So it should feel like those legs are pushing against a wall on either side. Whew, waking up those outer glutes and outer thighs. We have 3. And 2. Last one. Now we're going to hold down. I'm going to release my weight forward and I'm going to take a light row. So I'm going to pull those elbows back, draw my shoulder blades together, and release that weight forward. Good. Remember, this first series is all about lower body. So I haven't chosen my heaviest weights because even though I'm taking this little upper body chest opener, I'm really focusing on holding that carriage and platform steady with my legs. Good. I'm getting an added bonus of this nice wide open chest as I hold my squat. Whew, it's getting tough. 2 more. That weight is going to come back into my chest on this last one, and I'm going to go back into those squats. I have 10 more. Lower and lift for 10. Making sure you're coming all the way up to the top. So really give yourself that sense of length and extension in those hips. Good, we have 7. Push to those heels, continue to breathe. 6. 5. 4. I have butt cheeks. I can feel them. Holy cow. 2 more. 1 more. 1 more hold, guys. Hold it down. Take that free weight, and we're gonna bicep curl it up and in. So I'm gonna reach my elbows slightly forward, and I'm gonna sweep my arms up. Weight comes towards my forehead, and reach right back down. Again, this is a stabilizing move for those legs. So keep pushing down through those heels, down through those feet, sweeping those arms up, feeling a sense of ease in that upper body. We have 4. We're gonna stand all the way up in 3. In 2, can you push that carriage open 1 more inch for this last one? Get a little lower. and then stand all the way on up. Nice job. Woo, righty. From here, we're gonna turn to face your front side. Weight stays with you. We're gonna be working our left leg next. Place your right foot about mid-carriage, and I'm gonna bring my weight into my right hand. Here we go. I'm gonna sink down, finding a nice hip hinge, and I'm gonna begin to push my right leg long back behind me. Now this is gonna be a left glute, left leg challenge. So yes, I am pushing the carriage out with my right. However, I can feel that the more I push that carriage out, the heavier that spring gets, the more challenge I feel in my left leg. I'm trying to push my left heel into the platform and keep the tension in my toes light. I should be able to look down and see my little tiptoes here, squaring off my hips. It's the same ways to lighten or intensify the springs. I move my right foot back more towards my shoulder blocks. If I want lighter, I move my right foot closer to the front of my carriage. If I want heavier. 2 more. Now last one, we're gonna hold that carriage about halfway so you have some tension in those springs. Good, we're gonna do some more rowing here. Pulling both elbows back. Remember, I only have that free weight in my right arm. So I'm having to work really hard to stabilize through my shoulders and hold through that left leg. Keep lengthening out through that neck. Can you find a little deeper into those legs? We have 3 more. Nice narrow row, opening up that chest. 2. Last one. Hold those arms long, go back into those kicks. Out and in. You see a pattern here. Good. Sliding that carriage out, making any adjustments you need to, taking breaks when you need. Remember, if you're feeling any tension in that lower back, I want you to lift your chest more. Good. The more that you hinge from your hips and lower that chest, good, the more work that standing hip has got to get. Make sure those shoulders are pulled back. Good, try not to round in that upper back. 2 more. Last one. Hold that carriage in halfway, final set of rows, up for 10. Up for 9. Up for 8. Whew, my back leg is shaking a little bit. 7. Having a good time. 6. Get a little deeper. 5. Push that carriage out 1 more inch. 4. Last 3. Stay with. Keep that breath. 2. And 1. Close that carriage all the way on up. Nice job. Okay, guys, we're gonna come all the way on down and lift that foot bar up to the high notch here. All right, we have some more bridging to do. Make sure that headrest is down. Lying to your back, it's the same springs. Place both feet to your foot bar, arms anchored down by your sides. We've done this before, we just had slightly more spring on at the beginning. So begin to push down through those feet, bridge those hips up, and then gently lower. Again, we're finding a moment to unify that body. We have both legs working at once, pressing on up and lower. Pressing on up and lower. We have 3. You know, we're gonna isolate that left leg again. In 2. 1 more, you're gonna hold that bridge on up, pull that carriage in, bring right leg to tabletop. Good, you're gonna take little hamstring curls in for 10, in for 9, in for 8. At any time, you can rest that all of the right foot to the bar. 4, 3, 2, hold that carriage in, you're gonna lift and lower your hips up and down for 8. 7, we're moving to the right leg in 6. Keep breathing here. 5, 4, use those arms into the mat. 3, 2, 1. Both feet find your foot bar, hold that bridge. Roll shoulders open, pull that carriage in a little bit farther. Take that left leg, bring it on up. Pull that carriage in, small hamstring curls for 8, 7, 6, 5. So we're moving over to that right leg. You got it. 4, 3, 2. Hold that carriage in. Pulse the hips up for 8. Up for 8. Up for 7. Keep breathing. 6. Again, always put that left foot down if you need it. Keep breathing. 4. Stay with. 3, 2, 1. Both feet find your foot bar. Hold. Keep that bridge going. Good. Lower lift. 10 more times from both legs. Up 10. Come back again to that double leg. 9. Feeling strong. 8. Core is connected for 7. 6. Chest is open. 5. 4. 3. Last 2. We're going to come off to the side after this last one, coming right back up onto our platform. Here we go. Close that carriage. Foot bar comes down, and grab that free weight if you'd like as we step up onto the platform. So once more, we're reversing down this little leg series. So we're going to begin with that carriage kick facing directly forward. Have our left foot about mid-carriage back behind, and you'll take your free weight in your left. Both arms are going to reach down. Begin to soften both legs, tipping your right hip and cheeks up so you find that long neutral. And we're going to begin to push that carriage out. Good. There's no pressure to fully lengthen your left leg. Again, we're focusing on what we're feeling here. So I'm pushing my carriage out till I feel like I found my edge on my standing leg. So I'm pushing my left leg out as far as I can without compromising my form. Good. I'm moving at a pace that I can continue breathing. So oftentimes it's maybe a little slower than we think we need. So you can really, again, come back into that conscious breath. That's what's going to save you through these little endurance series here. 2 more. Last one, hold the carriage out halfway. Good, you're going to row those arms back, drawing that chest open. Again, find a moment to lift and open that chest, lightly drawing those shoulder blades together. Keep pulling that right hip back in space, finding that nice square alignment. We have 4 and 3. We're going to go back into that little carriage kick in 2. 1 more. Reach those arms down. Move back into that carriage kick out for 10. Out for 9. Out for 8. Finding that connection down into that standing heel. 7. Spread those toes out wide. 6. Maybe wiggle those toes a couple times, making sure you've got your weight back into that right heel. We got 2 more, guys. 1 more set of those rows. Push that carriage out about halfway, hold. Maybe you sink a little bit deeper and row those arms up for 10. 9. Both feet are coming to your carriage in 8. Check in with the next. 7. Whew, we got that shake going on in the back leg. 6. That's it. 5. Don't worry about it. Keep breathing. 4. And 3. And 2. 1 more. And come all the way on up. Both feet find your standing platform. And we're facing the opposite direction. We've got those standing squats. Okay, you know the drill. You'll find your feet in a distance that it feels like you can push open to that carriage, and you find a bit of that resistance. Good. And you're about the width of what you would like to do for your squat. So here we go. Weight comes towards your chest. Hinge those hips back. Weight in those heels. Exhale, press the legs, stand right on up. We have 10. And 9. Again, remembering it's all about that endurance. So what can you maintain at the beginning of the set and at the end of the set? So just not being afraid to adjust your positioning either intensifying or easing off as you go. So it feels like you can stay with in whatever way you can. 2 more. That's how we get stronger. Not by pushing through to the point of injury, but finding those ways to manipulate and adjust so your body can still feel strong. Here we go. We're going to take those rows, extend those arms long, pull that weight towards your chest for 8, 7, 6, 5. Again, maybe I'm lifting my chest a little bit if I need to ease off any kind of lower back stuff. 3, 2, and 1. Bring that weight back up to your chest. We're going back into those squats, sinking down, standing all the way up for 10. Good. I'm going to see if I can push that carriage open just a little bit more. Maybe heel toe my feet a little closer. Find that extra bit of challenge. For the last couple squats here, we are moving away from lower body after this. 2 more. 1 more. Hold it low, extend those arms long. We're gonna take that bicep curl, curling that weight up towards the forehead, and then release right back down. Again, feel that ease in the shoulders. Allow that weight to just sweep as you curl, sweep as you release. Feel that nice sense of movement in those shoulder blades. We have 4. Can you sink a little lower? 3. Last 2. 1 more. Standing all the way on up and close that carriage. Step it on down to the floor. So we're gonna move to 1 yellow spring next, and we're gonna be moving into a little bit of upper body work as well as some planking work next. So we're gonna take it to the back of the machine. We have the box set up here on the floor, right up against the end of the machine. You're gonna find a kneeling position, reach for your shoulder posts to bring your carriage towards you. Okay, first move here is going to be a kneeling row. Set your hips back towards your heels, and you're gonna begin to just pull those shoulder blocks towards you. This is gonna be a great option if you need to ease off a little bit. The higher you bring your hips away from your heels, the more core challenge you get. So I'm having to actively draw my abs up towards my spine, using my back muscles to make sure I'm not rounding. And so you want to find that position that's feeling right for you. Maybe you're a little bit lower and you've got your chest a little higher. Maybe you have your hips a little higher and your chest a little lower. So keep playing around with what you're feeling here. We've got that yellow spring, which gives us some feedback in our triceps. Exhale, pull. Exhale, pull. Nice. We have 4. We have 3. Last 2. Last 1. Great. From here, you're going to find your left hand to the inside of your frame, either to the side, or if you have a little bit of platform, place your hand there. It's single arm. Now this is going to be a little bit less for the core and more for that single arm because you've got your left hand pushing down into your reformer. So allow your body weight to really rest into that left hand and focus on that work, that lat pull, that tricep work. Continuing to pour some weight into that left hand so you can take the stress off the abs in the back and put it in your right arm. We have 1 more just like this. Next time you pull that carriage towards you, we're gonna switch it up. I'm gonna shift my hips back so I can easily switch to my left hand. My right hand finds its way down to the inside of my frame. Good, I'm gonna lean my weight forward into my right hand and then focus on pulling that left arm back. My abs are still working. I'm still trying to find that neutral, but I'm able to shift that weight into my right hand and allow my left arm to really get that work. Good, pull. Nice. We've got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 more. Gently take a hold of your straps, sit your hips back towards your heels, and allow that carriage to go all the way forward and home. Nice. I'm gonna come around to the side of my machine here, grab a hold of my long loop, and I'm gonna bring it in the hand that's closest to my reformer. All right, I'm gonna start in a standing position, and I wanna bring my hand right about the height of my shoulder, and then step my outside foot forward. This does not have to be a deep lunge, but we're gonna be going into a single arm chest press. So I'm gonna hinge forward slightly and begin to push into my right arm. I'm thinking about that arm reaching on a little bit on that high diagonal. And now I am in control, and you are in control, of how heavy this spring feels by leaning further into that spring or taking a step closer to my foot bar. Again, we're looking for a place that we feel like we can maintain. So easing back could look like standing up taller or taking a slight step back in space. Good, so just keep playing around with how that body is aligned. Pushing that single arm, working into those chest muscles. Keeping hips square, keeping rib cage strong. We have 4. And 3. And 2. We're gonna take it super simple right over to the other side here. Hang up that loop and then bring it all the way to the second side. Grabbing a hold of your strap. Again, it's the hand that's closest to your machine. Long loop. Go ahead and bring your hand close to your shoulder. Elbow is bent. Step your outside foot forward. Stagger stance and then hinge forward. Begin to push through that strap. And it'll become apparent, depending on where you're standing and how you're feeling, if you need to shift forward or back. Again, this is up to you. Lean into it for more. Lean away from it for a little less. And or step forward or step back. Pressing those arms forward. Finding that stability right underneath you. Good, guys. We have 4. 3. Last 2. 1 more. And return. Hang up that loop. So nice. All right. We are going to be moving into some planking next. So we are going to get our high octane plank out of the way first. We're going to use the box at the rear of the machine and stepping into our strap well. Hands are going to place themselves flat on your box or wrapped around the outside, depending on what feels better on your wrists. Step your feet back onto your headrest. We are still on our lightest spring available. Good. We're going to practice holding this plank. And at any time, you can come back to this plank right here, just holding strong. Good, we are gonna come into a reverse bear here. So shifting my weight forward towards my arms, I'm gonna begin to pull that carriage forward and back. I'm gonna go for 8. Bending my knees, exhale 7. Pulling for 6. Keeping my body weight over my arms, 5. So that I can get light enough in my feet. 4, to pull that carriage forward. 3, hips slightly lift. 2, as I pull my knees in. Last 1. Extend those legs long, step them to the floor. Good, take a hold of your risers, give yourself a bend and stretch, shake out your body. We have another round. Finding those hands to the box, wherever they're gonna feel good for you. Step those feet back. This time, we're gonna be pulling our knees towards our left elbow. So stepping the feet back, it's the same preparation. From here, I'm gonna turn my hips slightly towards my left and pull knees in towards the left. Exhale for 7. Exhale
for 6. Exhale, 5. Exhale, 4. Exhale, 3. Exhale, 2. Exhale, 1. Woo! Step those feet to the floor. Take a quick moment. We have the other side. Stay with. Step those feet back to your headrest. Deep breath in. Every time you bend those knees, this time they're going towards your right elbow. In for 8. In for 7. In for 6. In for 5. We're away from the back end in 4. Exhale, 3. Use that breathing. 2. 1. Step those feet to the floor. Nice job. Bring yourself all the way on up. Feeling good. Come on to the front side of your machine. We are going to do the next set with no springs, and we're going to come into a kneeling crunch. Your option is to do this on a yellow for a little bit more support. Knees are going to stay down in this plank, and I'm going to pop my extra platform in because we're going to be supporting ourselves on our forearms to get off of our wrists. Send your forearms down. Now, I do care about the alignment of the elbow and the wrist. Try not to bring the hands to prayer. That's going to send your shoulders away from one another, and you want to think about being able to wrap your shoulder blades towards one another to find that in a strong shoulder position. Okay, here we go. We're going to slowly allow that carriage to slide open with control, and then exhale, curling back in, finding a nice roundness in your spine. Good. Now this is going to feel lower intensity than where we just were. And I want you to really enjoy the fact that you're able to go deep and that you're able to control the carriage right now. So think about moving through slow motion here, trying to push down through those arms, scooping up and really maximizing what you can feel through this controlled and slow pace. That's it. Lengthening out through that spine, and then exhale, finding that core connection to pull you right up on it. There's no pressure to go out really far or drop your hips really low. Again, I want you to find your range of motion based on what you feel. Lengthening out, going as far as you can, keeping your control, pushing down through those arms to round up through that back and bring it on in. We have 2 more, just like that. And back on in. 1 more. I want you to hold it where you feel the work. Good. Push down through those arms. Begin to slide the carriage open from those arms, getting a little bit more shaky, a little bit more work, and then pull that carriage forward. Now I'm keeping my legs out from under me. So I'm trying to move my carriage, and it feels like I'm sawing my body forward and then sawing my body back. I'm pushing really actively down through my forearms, lengthening through the crown of my head. Keeping that control through the abdominals and the back. If you need to lift your hips at all, please be my guest. Make those adjustments so that you can feel that core working, no pressure in that lower back. We have 2 more. Last one. You're going to hold it where you feel the work. You're going to pull your knees underneath you about 3 inches and then lengthen right back out for 10. Good. I say 3 inches and I really mean 3 inches. Keep it small. Exhale. So it's just that beginning of that pull in, feeling that connection through those low abs. We have 6. We're coming into a child's pose in 5. In 4, in 3, 2, 1 more. Close that carriage all the way. Bring your hips back towards your heels. Stretch and breathe.
I've got one more for you. We got a little side plank action to do, and we're gonna come either to a yellow spring or a blue spring. All right, we're gonna place our hands to the platform. We're starting with our right side plank. So I'm gonna move my right hand towards the center of my platform. I'm gonna give you guys a couple options here. I'm gonna place my feet against my shoulder posts and send my carriage all the way open. Good, now first option here, I'm gonna drop my heels and rotate open and stay here. Now I'm feeling my right oblique work and I have the power of both arms underneath me. If I wanna open up all the way to my side plank, I allow my weight to rock open into those hands. I push away from my platform and I hold. Good, at any time, you can lower that bottom knee and extend that top arm, top leg long. You can take this side plank off the edge of the machine if you don't want to worry about that moving carriage. Breathe and hold wherever you are. Wrap that bottom shoulder in. Feel that bottom waist lifting. We're going to pulse the hips up for 8, up 7, up 6, up 5. Not worrying about moving the carriage, just focusing on your waist lifting and engaging. 3, 2, we are going to transition to the other side. See if you can stay up as you make that transition. Moving the hands to the platform. Left hand is to the center. I'm going to drop my heels towards my left and I can hold right here. Or I can put my bottom knee down and open up for that knee plank. Or I extend my legs long and I hold that full plank. Wherever you are breathing. Maybe you're off the side of your machine and your feet are on the floor for more stability. Maybe you're on your forearm. Again, wherever you are, you're finding those nice deep breaths. We're gonna take those 8 lifts through the waist. 8, lift 7, lift 6, lift 5, 4, 3, last 2, last 1, knees come all the way down, face that body forward towards your platform, hands find your foot bar, breathe deep. Just thank yourself for taking the time to move the body, to take care of yourself. And I will see you again next time.